Hi friends, this is Deep Basu and welcome to my channel Think Deep. I'm back once again and I'm going to review the film Durgamati. It's the latest film on Amazon Prime. I'm sure most of you have watched the trailer of the film. This movie has a very beautiful and a very talented Bhumi Pednekar. This movie has been produced by Akshay Kumar and it has various other talented actors. And Durgamati is a remake of a Telugu film called Bhagmati. I'm sure most of you have watched it. It released, I think, 2 years ago. It has the very talented Anushka Shetty, and the director of the film is Mr. Ashok. He's also the same director of this film, Durgamati. And this was the original Amazon Prime film and has been backed by Akshay Kumar. I have a feeling that Mr. Kumar has a fetish for South Indian films. His previous film was Kanchana, which was also a remake of a Tamil film, and this also is a remake of a Telugu film. I'm sure he has, I think he's planning to make remakes of other South Indian films as well. I think Rauji Rathod also was a remake of a South Indian film. So anyway, coming to the story of Durgamati, it's a political thriller with a few horror elements. If you have watched Bhagmati before, you will get to know what I'm talking about. And since I watched Bhagmati, Bhagmati is not one of my favorite Telugu films, but it's a nice film. It's quite a massy film. And Anushka Shetty is a great actress, so definitely I watch most of her work and I try my best not to mess it up. So even Bhumi Pednekar has done a great job. So coming back to the story, the movie begins introducing us to politician Ishwar Prasad, played brilliantly by Arshad. It was a breath of fresh air, just so refreshing to watch Arshad after a long time. So the movie begins introducing us to Ishwar Prasad, played brilliantly by Arshad. So it's been 6 months. Few temple idols of reputed temples are missing. People say it's been stolen. So the entire blame is on Ishwar Prasad. People are accusing him for stealing the temple idols. So the movie begins where Ishwar Prasad, who's an honest politician, he vows to resign politics if within 6 months he's unable to recover those missing idols. So there's a lot of controversy against him. The public is against him. People don't trust him, though he's a very honest politician. But you know what happens, when a person does so many good things, but if he does one bad thing, people remember the bad thing. So that's what is happening with Ishwar Prasad currently, and he's under radar. So the public, the politicians, the CBI all want to prove him wrong. So a CBI officer, a Bengali CBI officer, Satakshi Ganguly, played brilliantly by Mahi Gill, is appointed to investigate Ishwar Prasad's case and to prove him guilty. So that's the few sequences, that's how the story begins. And Mahi Gill, Satakshi Ganguly, with the help of ACP Khan, played by Jishu Sengupta. So both of them basically team up to prove Ishwar Prasad guilty. Now Ishwar Prasad has a good record, has a very clean record in the past, and he has a lot of supporters. So it's very difficult for them to prove him guilty. So they have a plan. They want to get in touch with one of his confidant, not one of his only confidant, Chanchal Singh. Chanchal, IS Chanchal, played by Bhumi Pednekar, who is behind bars supposedly because she has killed her husband. So that's how Bhumi Pednekar is introduced. And Satakshi Ganguly and ACP Khan decide to interrogate her, but not in the police station. They plan to take her to a dilapidated mansion where they want to, in a secluded place, they want to interrogate her so that she gives them more information about Ishwar Prasad and cooperate with them and help him to put him behind bars. So now the story takes a different turn where Chanchal is basically transferred to a mansion where Satakshi Ganguly and Khan start interrogating her. Now this mansion where she has been transferred is haunted. It's a huge mansion. It's a Haveli, and it's haunted, and there is a ghost apparently called Durgamati who basically haunts this mansion. So now the movie, there's a turning point in the film where Arshad, Bhumi Pednekar, gets possessed with the ghost of Durgamati. And now really what really happens, because Durgamati has a past, Bhumi Pednekar has a past, and there's an entire political conspiracy which is simultaneously happening. So what really happens Bhumi Pednekar gets possessed. She becomes a ghost, and she begins to haunt the entire mansion. Now Satakshi Ganguly is confused. Initially, they basically label her as a schizophrenic, but she's not schizophrenic. Apparently, she is possessed. So a psychiatrist is called, a tantric is called. So now what happens? You need to watch and find out. Because Durgamati is a different story, and Anchal and Ishwar Prasad is a different story, and it is connected. I won't give out much details. If you have watched Bhagmati, you'll get to know what I'm talking about. I will not give out much details, because if I give out more details, I'll give out spoilers, and I think that will spoil the film. So this is this is the story of the film. So what really happens? Who is the ghost? Who is this ghost, Durgamati, and how will Bhumi Pednekar get rid of the ghost? What will happen to Ishwar Prasad? Will Satakshi Ganguly, be able to prove him guilty? So what really happens? You come to know. So the movie is around 2 hours 35 minutes. That's a loophole of the film, one of the loopholes of the film, because the first 2 hours is a total waste of time. Right now I'm talking about the analysis of the film, the story. The first 2 hours is a total waste of time. The movie is going nowhere, the first 2 hours. The last 45 minutes is the gripping. The last few sequences towards the climax is the best part of the film. There are a lot of revelations, there's a twist, and a lot of things happening in the last 45 minutes. The first 2 hours is boring. You will yawn, and you are certainly, as an audience, I was quite perplexed at what is happening. Why is this Durgamati coming in? Who is this Durgamati? Why Bhumi has to get possessed? So as a viewer, I was quite confused the first 45 minutes, the first 2 hours of the film. And if you have watched Bhagmati, the sequences are pretty similar. And the screenplay and the dialogues and everything has a lot of loopholes. Few sequences lacks logic. Basically, let me explain to you. This is a remake of a Telugu film. So if you are pretty used to watching a Telugu film like Kanchana or a South Indian film, everything is very larger than life. Everything is very massy. If you really watch or follow Telugu or South Indian films, everything is very massy. Everything is very, out of it's very over dramatic. So Bhagmati, few sequences are pretty outdated, very over dramatic. The dialogues, the acting. So it's not a film you need to watch it at home. You need to go to the theatre to watch it with the mass audience. Because few sequences I was wondering what kind of acting is this? Why this guy is shouting? Why is he screaming? Then I remember it's a remake of a Telugu film, and Telugu films are pretty massive. And this is a political thriller, by the way, with elements of horror. So it's not a full-on horror film. So first 2 hours you're expecting where is the horror? There's no chill, there are no scares. It's a political thriller, and there are few sequences which are, I won't say scary, it's okay. I was not scared. I don't think you guys will be scared too. So overall, few sequences lack logic. Some of my questions are unanswered, and the performances could have been better. I was very happy to see Mahi Gill in new avatar after a long time. She's playing Satakshi Ganguly, but there was a big flaw in her character. Constantly, she's talking in Bengali. Basu, Darao, Khuchena. Is it necessary just to prove it to the audience that she's a Bengali? That was in front of Jishu Samgupta. She's talking, incorrect Bengali. I won't say incorrect. There are certain grammatical errors. That was quite funny. Jishu is a Bengali. He's a true blue Bengali from Calcutta, who is playing ACP Khan, and Mahi Gill standing in front of him talking in Bengali. So just to prove the fact that she is a Ganguly. I found it very weird. And there's another actor who has been introduced. I won't say introduced. He has done a film called Blank. He played the character Shakti. His name is Karan Kapadia. He's related to Dimple Kapadia. He's a son of Simple Kapadia, and he's Twinkle Khanna's cousin. So nepotism alert out here. Karan Kapadia plays the character Shakti, who is married to Bhumi, and due to certain unforeseen circumstances, Bhumi murders him. You will get to know why. So Karan Kapadia's character is interesting, but somewhat I felt Karan Kapadia didn't do a very fair job. He tried his best, but most of the time I found his character very monotonous. He was always shouting. He was stiff. I just saw him as an angry man. I didn't see any kind of soft characteristics of his character. I just saw one side of his character. I don't know whether the director asked him to do it, whether it was his interpretation. So I feel someone else could have done a better job if they didn't decide to cast him. But I did think the film has been produced by Akshay Kumar, so I'm sure it was not very difficult to cast Karan Kapadia. And Jishu Sengupta was good, but I felt that he could have got a better role. The character didn't have much potential. Overall, the movie revolved around Arshad and Bhumi Pednekar. Arshad has killed it. I consider Arshad one of the best actors of our country, but unfortunately, he doesn't get his due. His last good character was, as you know, Circuit, but you will really love to watch him in Durgamati. He's done a great job. So Bhumi and Arshad definitely, there are certain sequences which definitely give them a lot of prominence. Bhumi Pednekar has done a great performance. But in comparison to Anushka Shetty, I'm not comparing. Bhumi is a good actress. Anushka Shetty suited the character even more because, various actors suit a certain character. You can't expect one actor to do all characters. Bhumi is more inclined towards realism. If you see Bhumi's films like Padman, Dam Laga Ke Aisha, she suits that character. She's more inclined towards those films. In this kind of movie like Bhagmati, it requires a certain amount of voice range, a presence, a persona. No, I'm not saying Bhumi has a bad persona. Bhumi has a great persona. But Anushka Shetty's, matched with Anushka Shetty's character and persona. But nevertheless, Bhumi has done a great job. I would love to watch her. She's not only looking very beautiful, and she has done an honest performance. And overall, there are no songs in the film for a change, but there is one song called Baras Baras. It's been sung by B. Prak and composed by our very own Tanishq Bakshi. It's a beautiful song. It's a love song between Karan Kapadia and Bhumi Pednekar. They are not a match. Karan Kapadia and Bhumi Pednekar didn't quite match. Karan Kapadia looked way younger than Bhumi, and he is way younger than Bhumi. Anyway, so overall, if you have seen Bhagmati, don't watch Durgamati. I don't think you are going to like it because it's an underwhelming attempt. This Bollywood remake is an underwhelming attempt compared to Bhagmati. If you really want to watch this film, watch Bhagmati on Amazon Prime, which has Anushka Shetty with subtitles. But Durgamati, the good aspects of Durgamati were the art, the production design was wow. Means that Haveli looked really scary. And the production designer, the cinematography was something which stood out. And the music also, the background score, everything stood out. The VFX, the visual, everything stood out in Durgamati. And definitely it was similar to what happened in Bhagmati. So this is my review of Durgamati. Do watch it if you want to, but I would really recommend you honestly watch Bhagmati, the Telugu version instead. You will love it. And the last 45 minutes is going to be the scene stealer where, because in 2 hours the writers thought of getting us bored. The last 45 minutes, the entire information is being vomited. What are the revelations you're waiting for? Everything gets vomited in the last 45 minutes. So last 45 minutes is quite gripping. But I wouldn't say much. This is my review of Durgamati. Do watch it and do let me know if I've missed out on anything. And that's it. Do subscribe to my channel, Think Deep Basu on YouTube. I'll be back again with more reviews. So guys, see you very soon.